Hello. Welcome back to the Pause to Proceed podcast with your host, SB.
And I'm your girl. I'm your girl, Bridgett LaRé.
And we are back again for another episode. Why are you laughing?
Because that B was like, you did that from the chest.
I did. That was my rapper SB coming out. That's what that was.
That was funny.
Thanks, I guess.
That's like a little different side of SB, wasn't it? Yeah.
Probably. You know, it's so many sides to me that you guys have not had the privilege to see.
Well, let us see, SB.
It'll come out naturally.
Here comes the Gemini.
No rhyming allowed in the studio. Come on now.
What?
Somebody try to rhyme, but they can't rhyme like this.
Hey.
Somebody try to rhyme, but they can't rhyme like this.
What's wrong with us? Right. So, guys, today we are talking about risk. And what risks have you taken in life? And just like how comfortable are people with taking risks? And is it necessary to take risks?
These are good topics.
Right?
SB?
Yeah.
Risk.
Yes.
I'm acting like I didn't know we were talking about this. I'm like,
It's okay. It's coming back to you.
coming back.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
yes, I think risks are very important because I don't know where I heard this, but a quote goes, life begins at the end. Why you laugh?
I think it's so funny when this quote by, I don't know, I just be tickled.
Because I always got some quotes and some
Yes,
books and
I
some
love
something,
the fact that
some Bible scriptures.
you are a quoter, honey, okay? Go ahead with your quote.
But what's so funny is like when people throw like cliches at me, I'm like, I don't want to hear another cliche.
You said that to me the other day.
I did.
You did.
Maybe because they're in me so much. And it's like, I don't want to hear it.
But they're true. That's why they're cliches. They have truth to them.
But people probably feel like that when I be throwing them out. Because I'm like, when I'm going through stuff, don't tell me no cliche.
Because it's a mirror. When you put that mirror in front of people's face, people don't like the mirror,
Yeah,
man.
I don't like the mirror. I don't like that
the
mirror.
mirror.
No, let me give it to you.
Uh-oh, hypocrite.
Oh, God.
Hypocrisy.
Well, you know what? And sometimes it be like that.
It's like, listen, you're a hypocrite until you realize you're not a hypocrite. That's why I don't get too upset when we're all hypocritical. Don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Cognizantly, you don't want to be. You try not to be, but we're all hypocrites until you realize it.
But you know what? We all have blind spots. I won't
There
call
we
it hypocrite.
go.
We all have blind spots.
Yes.
But that's what
yes.
other people in the world is for.
Right. To check you.
To show you your blind spots.
Ooh.
So that's why we need to be cognizant of the crowd we keep.
That's why I don't. Yes. Because check me, please, respectfully.
Yes.
Because I feel like if we're both here to grow, then why not? I'm going to give an example of this, and then we're going to talk about risk.
Right.
Like, I had went to Joshua Tree with one of my friends. With my,
haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
Was it lovely?
Joshua Tree is amazing.
Did you go to the tree?
I didn't go to the tree, but we went to the rocks. I don't care about the tree.
How you get there and not go to the tree?
Because it's peaceful. It's
Isn't
a big,
that like the
peaceful
oldest
place.
tree in the world?
Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe I should go to the tree. I've been to
Solomon?
Joshua Tree like 3 times.
Can you research? Is that?
I didn't even know Joshua Tree was about a tree. It's one tree?
Well,
I think
apparently it's like one of the oldest trees in the world is up there. Or
It's
something
like
I
that.
could be making
Yeah.
that up.
I think you have. I think I've heard that before.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I think I've
but I
heard
haven't
that
been.
before too.
But anywho.
Oh, so I'm at Joshua Tree with my friend, and my friend Jerry. I love Jerry Bear Gerald, aka Gerald. And Jerry, he likes to do things his way. I'll say that.
Okay.
And we were coming from the desert. We were hungry. I wanted to go back to our Airbnb so I can watch the sunrise and just chillax. So we were trying to find food. So we're there's little to no signal. So we're also trying to find a signal. So I'm looking stuff up, but I'm driving. So I was like, Jerry, you probably gonna have to, look it up more. So he finds this Thai spot. It's like, okay, let's see, how far is it? All right, he was like, I'm gonna place the order in online. Because the signal was kind of spotty, the internet was taking longer. So I tell him, well, maybe you should just call. But he is hell bent on trying to, look it up.
Right.
So when he finally gets it in, I made the suggestion twice. When he finally gets it in, he realizes, oh shoot, it's gonna take an hour for our food to be ready. So I'm like, well, Jerry, like, I told you to call because that may have been quicker. We could have saved time. We already had to drive like 30 minutes. That could have shortened our time probably if you just would have called. And I was like, sometimes you can just be so stubborn and you don't know how your stubbornness comes off to other people or how it affects other people.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, well, you're the same way. And then I said, well, tell me about it then. Don't wait till I call you out on your shit to call me out on mine. Because now to me, it becomes tit for tat. You know what I mean? So with that being said, and I still have to have a little conversation with my Jer Bear. I love you.
Have it with him right here.
Look at you.
What do you want to say to Jerry? Look in the camera and tell Jerry.
Jerry, I just would like for you to, I'm trying to grow. Cause I feel like if we're all trying to grow and be better people, you don't always know when you're a hypocrite. I know I've been a hypocrite before, but you don't know until you know, right? So I'm the type of person, let me know.
Let's say blind spots. Hypocrite just have a negative connotation.
That's because us humans have done that, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel any type of way about somebody calling me a hypocrite.
I mean, but we all have blind spots. It's not that
Okay.
you're being hypocritical.
We'll say it's a hypocrite, but we'll say blind spots because it sounds better.
You know, call it what you want. Because I do have, let me not.
It's okay. I don't mind calling it a blind spot. Yeah. It does sound nicer. But let me know about my blind spots because I'm gonna let you know about yours because we're in this together. So I would just like to let him know, let me know about my blind spots. Don't wait till I call you out and then you say, well, you are too, because there's no solution there.
Well, you did say that to him, right? In the car. So you did have that conversation.
It didn't. It wasn't. I gotta have another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Send this clip to Jerry.
I gotta have another one. Love you, Jer.
Hey,
Jerry. I hope he's okay with this, but it's fine. This is small potatoes.
Yeah.
But getting back to the risk taking.
Yes. So that quote I was gonna say that took us off on a tangent,
right?
Is life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So I think I do.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's where I feel like I am.
It just hit you.
I just feel like I'm being pushed
out of your comfort zone. Yeah,
in a real way.
Yeah, in a real way. In a real way.
In a real way.
Like that's when my life began. At the end of my comfort zone, like literally leaving Ohio, I was comfortable there. I was there for 29 years, and I decided. I felt in my spirit like it's time to go.
Yeah.
Every day I was waking up asking myself, is this all there is to life? It's not even, I wasn't asking myself that consciously. It was just a subconscious whispering in my spirit.
We have
is this all there
our,
is to life?
Our stories are similar.
And I was like, one day after 2 weeks waking up with that, I was literally, okay, the reason why that was ringing in my head, because all I was doing was partying, drinking, smoking, bullshitting, being promiscuous. And I was a nurse. So on the outside looking in, it looked like I had my stuff together. But for those that knew me, knew that your girl was out there. You know what I mean? And, one day I was just hung over, like diarrhea, vomiting. And I remember,
done.
Girl, done.
You were done.
And I remember dragging myself to the toilet. And I was just over the toilet and I was just so drained. And that question, as my head is in the toilet bowl, that question was, is this all there is to life? And I was like,
poor thing.
No. And I remember feeling like alone, even in a room full of people, alone at the clubs, alone, like, because I just wasn't.
Your spirit was not.
My spirit was
agreeing with
the
the
environment.
And
it's something about 29 that you hear a lot of people say, this happens to them at that age.
That's like your Saturn return.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It has something to do with your Saturn return.
Yes. And that's when I was like, if I'm feeling this way and I'm feeling like there's no point of even living, or I didn't care if I died or not, at that point I was like, I need to do something out of my comfort zone and take a risk. So that's when I just packed up my stuff and I was like, I'm out of here. And that's, I left within 2 weeks and I was headed to a new life.
That was a good risk.
That was a risk. That's why risks are so important to take. We gotta really trust our intuition That's that
Yes.
still small voice that's in us. And I think that's God, pushing us out of our comfort zone.
The Oprah, I was about to say the Oprah.
She is
Oprah,
the
she
Oprah,
is
the
the
GOAT.
Oprah.
Yes.
Oprah calls it the
The
whispers. The
whispers.
whispers. Like you
Yes.
hear that voice, that faint, sometimes faint voice behind you, kind of giving you game, but we kind of shrug it off sometimes. I feel like that's can coincide with not necessarily a red flag, but that is your intuition. It's something. It's a little alarm that's going off, trying to nudge you a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where life begins when you embrace that and like, all right, God, what is it that you're trying to tell me? What are you trying to show me? Where are you taking me?
Where are you taking me?
Like, let me just get grounded in it and just buckle up and go for the ride.
Yeah.
Because that's when you see life begins.
I think I started to become afraid of the ride because I like to consider myself a risk taker.
Okay.
Like we have similar stories. Mine more so, I came here at 29.
Look at that.
Yeah, I came here from Virginia at 29.
That's crazy.
I was feeling just stagnant air where I'm from. It's a lot of people with potential, but we don't have the access because it's a small city. You know what I mean? So I knew I had to get away, and I came here, took that risk, that gamble, and I was taking certain risks when I got out here. But I think for some strange reason, because I didn't resolve, I kind of ran away from home when I look back at it because of the parents, the whole death situation with my parents, and I was like, I gotta get out of here, like I need to bust out.
Yeah.
That came back up because I suppressed all those emotions and those feelings. So I think life is so weird because I stopped taking risks because I was trying to have too much control over everything. Because I think a part of risk taking is you have to have faith, right?
Yes.
And you can't control everything. Like it's just impossible. So I lost my natural flow.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the flow because I'm trying to wrangle everything, but you can't wrangle everything because you miss out on what God is trying to put in front of you.
It's about letting go of everything, letting go of control.
I'm trying to like hold on, and it was just ridiculous. And I lost my flow totally. I felt like that anyway.
So where are you at now with that?
Oh, I feel like my flow, it's so weird because I used to feel like I was looking at myself living life, but not doing anything. Like I felt outside of myself.
Oh.
It's weird. So now I feel like it's come back together so I can just flow naturally.
Now you're back in your body.
I'm back in my body and I'm back in my flow. And I'm feeling it in a real way. This is I meant when you said push, you need to be pushed into outside of your comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I
there.
feel like doing this.
Crisscross
There we go.
Half crisscross applesauce.
All right. So yes. Pushing past your comfort zone. Like I remember, speaking of taking risks, I remember it was a few years ago. I was working at this place, Kaiser Permanente.
She said that with an attitude.
Yeah, because Kaiser. So I was working at Kaiser, right? And I was doing it was like a travel assignment, but it was here in California. This was like when I first came here, and my friend Brandy, she had just came in town because everybody wanted to come here. I just moved to LA,
right?
And I got like some horrible news that my uncle had like suddenly passed away, heart issues. He was young. He was just in his 40s.
Yeah.
And I remember it was this girl at Kaiser. Like we sat next to each other. I was working as like an intake nurse, like sending the nurses out to different homes because they were doing home health care.
Oh, that's a decent gig.
It was fun. Yeah. And so a girl, she was following me on Instagram, and when my uncle passed, I told my friend Brandy, like, man, I'm just so glad you're here. I'm like, I just want to do something to feel alive. And she's like, what do you want to do? So I was like, let's go skydiving. So we went skydiving. That was like the biggest risk, like physically, of my life.
Yes.
Man, but when I tell you, it was beautiful.
Great things about skydiving.
Everybody should skydive.
I got really close. My 35th birthday. I got really close because I heard it could be just so transformative.
Your birthday coming up. You want to skydive?
I don't know. I think I don't know.
You gotta do it.
I don't know if I'm in the same mind space.
Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. I'm telling you, it's
Oh,
so blissful,
gosh.
y'all. Like when I was up in the air, the best part is free falling. Like when you just jump out and you just whoosh. Oh my God, it's the best part. So then when a guy, of course I did it tandemly, like somebody was
Right,
professional
yes,
was with
yes,
me.
yes.
So when he pulled the thing to let the parachute out, then I can just we was just gliding in the air and it was just so beautiful. Like I literally started crying like it's so beautiful. It's the
Yeah.
most bliss that you'll ever feel.
And then you're proud of yourself because you did it. You
Yeah.
pushed yourself to do something
Yeah.
that was scary.
It's very risky. And the reason why I mentioned the girl, in Kaiser, because I ended up posting it on
Freaking snitch.
Instagram. Yeah, and she snitched on me. I'm like, it wasn't even snitching. Like she just ran her mouth like she knew something. I'm like, and so they fired me because I took off, because I was going to go to Ohio to my uncle's funeral. But how you going to tell me how to grieve, Kaiser? How you going to tell me how to grieve?
That's true.
That's why they had to pay me unemployment because I fought it. I'm like, no, if that's my way of grieving, that's how I'm going to grieve.
That's
and now
true.
I can't work at Kaiser like ever again. And they be having some good contracts. I'd be like, oh.
Dang, that's crazy. You probably can try to.
Yeah. If there are any lawyers out there, hit me up. Because I want it.
But that's why I have to really get to know you before I share my social media with you. I do not like sharing my social media with my coworkers unless like we chilling like that.
That's risky. It's risky.
That's a risk in itself right there.
That is a risk all in itself.
For real. Yeah. I like that. That's a good transformative risk.
So it made me feel like I can do anything. Like, there is bliss in this world. It's the only bliss that I ever felt.
Ooh.
Like I've never
only
felt
bliss?
that is nothing compares.
Shoot, I'm trying to figure out what
Nothing
type
compares.
of bliss.
Like when I say bliss, I mean just pure.
What is the definition of bliss exactly?
So for me,
like Nirvana.
I don't know, Solomon, can you look up bliss?
Maybe it's similar to Nirvana.
I think that's one of those words that's actually personal to most people.
What do you think bliss is?
Well, I don't know. The time I hear it most is when people are talking about post-sex. Honestly.
So it's just a state. It seems like a state of joy.
It's a state of contentment.
It's like
gotta be more than content.
Pure, unadulterated. Like it's like
Nirvana.
Contentment. Nirvana. It's like it's just like clean air. It's like there is no. There's nothing but that moment.
Like you exhale.
I don't
like on waiting to exhale.
I think Solomon. I think it is.
Perfect happiness, great joy. That's what the definition says.
Perfect happiness.
Perfect happiness.
Great. I like great joy.
Great joy.
Reach a state of perfect
delight.
Happiness, typically so
joy.
As oblivious for everything else. Okay.
Pleasure.
I like that.
Ecstasy.
I like ecstasy and Nirvana. I'm going with those.
There you go.
Yes.
Because I refuse. My goal is to have my heaven on earth.
Mm.
That is one of my goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of hell on earth. We see it all the time, but you also see a lot of heaven on earth.
Yeah.
So if other people can live heavily on this plane, so is I.
Yeah. I definitely believe in it. I felt like I felt heavenly moments in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I felt hell in my life.
Yeah, yeah, for real.
Yeah.
It's here. All of it is here. You
It's
just got to
definitely
choose and try to pivot to the direction you want to be embraced in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Focus.
Yeah.
Where have you taken risk? What's the greatest risk you've taken?
I told Bridget yesterday, I feel like the greatest risk I've taken is probably sexually.
Why you had to tell them you told me?
Because we had these
She gonna put me in on it. This is your story.
I'm just letting you know we had this conversation.
Okay. So I know where you're going with it. Let's go.
I feel like
Let's go.
I can't believe I'm gonna talk about. All right, so I always have a great time in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And got with some people. And had
Don't sugarcoat it now.
Had some fun. Oh my God, I don't want to say. Forget it. All right, so I think it was like Sweet Heat. If those of you guys that know, Sweet Heat in Miami, it's a gathering of queer women.
What is it?
Sweet Heat.
Sweet Heat.
Sweet Heat. It's called Sweet Heat. It happens, I think around, is it in May? I'm not sure. I haven't gone in such a long time. But I had a good time. I met, 2 young ladies. and we had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
But some things kind of popped off. I'm not gonna go that into detail.
Girl, you better tell Pause and Proceed what you're talking about.
No. I'll just say some there was some unprotection that happened. And that was a good risk that I probably shouldn't have
What's some
taken.
unprotected boxing? Y'all box without boxing gloves or without helmets?
I had a good time with two ladies. I'm gonna let y'all figure that part out. Talking about boxing gloves and shit.
Oh, look
you
at
know
Solomon.
what I'm talking about.
Solomon done found
because it's coming up. It's coming up.
Coming up.
So if we see you not
is.
here in May, we'll know where you're at. Right?
That's what you're not even like, but you know what? I think it's so young now. Like I'm older now, so I'm not even sure if I would go.
Okay.
But I think
I don't like how you be hop skipping
time.
and jumping around subjects though.
I am not as open as Bridgette LaRé in the first 33, the third book coming soon. Okay, I'm getting there.
Well, get there. This is your platform.
Oh my God! All right, I'll say it. Jesus Christ, Lord Jesus
You
of
better
Nazareth.
own your voice.
All right, so went to Miami, was hanging out with one young lady, and then we met one of her friends. We was just chilling. My friends had left. And it's funny because my friends was like, you going home? I was like, nah, I'm gonna stay here and chill out. My friend looked at me, was like, okay, let me know you get home, because they was going to the airport.
Okay.
So, chilling with the two young ladies.
You had already met the girls.
I had met the girls.
Okay.
We were all hanging out.
So you like bye friends.
Bye friends.
Yeah, okay.
Bye friends. So we all hanging out, and there's some sexual attraction, so things pop off. The thing is, for women in the queer communities, that you have these things that are called Strap Ons. There are basically dildos that's on a strap.
Okay.
And the young lady, and I was intoxicated, and I didn't think about this till afterward.
So dildos are fake penises for those of y'all who that.
For
that
those
don't
of you
know.
that don't know.
Okay.
So one of the young ladies was having relations with the other young lady, and then decided to come over to me and also have those same relations, but she did not she didn't switch out the condom like she probably should have, and I would have if I was not in a state of bliss, I guess.
And if you wasn't in sweet heat.
If I wasn't in sweet heat. This was a long time ago, guys. This was a long time ago. So yeah, end up catching bacterial vaginosis, but we all know bacteria, for those that don't know, bacterial vaginosis, you can get that very easily from just about anything.
Right.
But at that time, I was like, oh my God, like, no.
I'm doomed.
Not even that I was doomed, but I was like,
STDs.
just the idea of that.
Mhm.
I was just, not even the bacterial vaginosis, but just like, oh, that was in her, it was in me. And I don't know y'all like that, when I came to.
Right.
But, when you're young and reckless,
You get risky.
sexually.
Some sexual
And
risk.
thank God, nothing else popped. Like, that was it. Bacterial vaginosis. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you
Had a great
mentioned
time, though.
I never, because like when you think of, the homosexual community,
Mm-hmm.
like everybody knows with gay men, there's a lot of risk involved, like
Right.
with HIV.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to two women, I never think, I'm like, oh, that's the safest thing. Two women is the safest, sexual contact on earth.
Well, this is the thing. And I've had my girlfriend in the past. I remember when we were dating and I asked her to go get tested. And she was like, well, you the one that's bisexual. Why do I got to get tested? Because you don't know who you're messing with that might claim. Listen, we're just going to skate over to the queer community real quick, specifically between lesbian and bisexual women. You don't know what people are out here doing because you have some women that's very... that are strong doms, very masculine presenting, that still may have sex with men, but not let people know. People are not always truthful. You know what I mean? And if I'm messing with two women and yet you guys are like, okay, I like women. I don't know what other women that, you just don't know. You never know. In any sexual situation where people tell you, you just don't know.
But you putting it like that, it's like, oh, it just rung a bell. Like, oh, you
Mhm.
can get a STD in just sex. Period. It doesn't have to just be a
Exactly.
male and woman, male and male.
Bodily fluids.
Bodily fluids, yeah.
Bodily fluids. I mean, if
And I
you
know I'm a nurse, but for some reason, it just like woman on woman just seemed like the
the risks are
safest
lower.
way to have sex to me.
No.
I don't know.
I feel like it is, but it's the thing where you don't know what people lie.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If people
But if you're
were
using
safe,
dildos, then it's still there's the risk.
it's only a risk if you're dildoing two people.
I mean, well, and if you're not cleansing them
Right.
well.
We didn't take any tests. I don't know y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know these vaginas.
Yeah.
I don't know these vaginas. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know. So it's I don't want to there is a lower risk in lesbian communities for sure, but it's just that always that question. I don't know what you out here doing.
Yeah. You know,
so that was probably I feel like off bat, me thinking about it, that's probably one of the largest risks I've taken.
Okay, Solomon, where's the hand clap?
Where is it, Saul?
Because this is for SB breaking that chain of shame, embarrassment, and guilt, and sharing her story.
Of shame,
Owning
embarrassment,
her
and guilt.
story.
I know. You know, I told you I'm working on not being more open.
That was
similar
your risk
to
you just took right now. Yes!
That was a risk.
Yes.
I would almost argue that was a bigger risk right now because I bet at the time it didn't feel like you were taking a risk, right?
No, at the time it didn't feel
that
like
was bigger
that.
than even doing the act.
I guess you're. What was bigger than doing the act?
You sharing it with us here.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially when I've I
Good job pointing that out, Solomon.
Yeah, thanks, Saul.
I like how when you do buddying, you add something of value.
You want me to add something else of value?
No, I'm scared.
Okay.
No, add, please.
Yeah,
what you got
to say?
All right. So here's my thought here. I'm going to jump on camera with you guys.
Okay.
Hello. You said life begins outside of your comfort zone.
At the end of your comfort zone.
Right. Well, I have a different philosophy because I feel like we start our lives wide open with, just a multitude of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And as we grow and we choose obligation or obligation chooses us, it comes down, it's like an inverse triangle, right? And
like
this
a tunnel.
and this is how we are as human beings. We strive for that. You go into a big place, you find your tribe. We're always getting smaller. So ultimately what we're doing is we're expanding our comfort zone. And so every time we step outside of our comfort zone is to expand our comfort zone even more. You see what I mean?
That makes sense.
So,
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so it's technically not true that life begins because all of that is your life. You know what I mean? And we don't want to discount any of it. But some people might consider that just like a play on words thing. But I really I really do value the life I've lived. You know what I mean? And for me, like starting a business is stepping outside of a comfort zone. But now it is my comfort zone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you're continuously breaking your comfort zone.
You're continuing
like you said, you're expanding.
You're venturing out and expanding it. Exactly. That's what it is.
So what you're saying to me, it sounds like, and I think me and you used this term before, just trying to get used to being, oh God, what's the statement? Get used to being uncomfortable basically normal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being in a state of risk taking.
Pretty much.
What you got to say, Sal?
Oh, being comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Right. I was going to say more of that because you're right. It's the thing of saying you're going to be uncomfortable, but you understand why you're doing it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Being comfortable, being uncomfortable. There
yes.
we go. Yeah.
And I believe when you do realize you are, okay, this is my comfort zone. I've been comfortable in this position for way too long. Once you push past that, like something flourishes, something new flourishes. I think it's about getting to a newness.
It's a feeling
of life.
When you say that life begins past your comfort zone, I think before when you're in your comfort zone and maybe you're looking for something else and you might be in a state of being mundane or stagnant.
Yes.
That's where it may start for you because it's a state of newness.
Yeah.
You're seeing your eyes are open. It's just a different energy.
Yeah. I think that's when you you're comfortable, when things are feeling mundane. When it's just feeling monotonous. Like I keep doing the same thing, the same thing every day, over and over and over again. So first thing is it starts with awareness. Once you get aware, like, man, I want something new. I don't desire to have this mundane life.
Right.
I desire to get out of mediocrity. And so you searching for something outside of your comfort zone, something outside of what you've been doing every day, something new.
Right.
Then that's when a new life in that area will begin for you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. What's some other risks that you've taken? I know we talked about us just being nurse entrepreneurs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cause
Yes.
woo, that's
Oh. Yeah. Nurse entrepreneurs.
So gotta have that faith.
Yes, as nurse entrepreneurs, we are let me put my feet down. They starting to get blue.
Circulation. Tight on,
like literally, look, don't put it on my feet. You better not put it on my feet.
You want
Solomon.
shoot cam? Should I? Oh, see, you're
I don't
basically
care. You can
saying
show
yes
them.
to it. There you go. Okay.
Look, my big toe is blue.
Oh, wow.
You can't tell that.
Solomon, I need to get a pedicure. Why would you do?
You
Anyway.
can't tell. You
Anyway.
couldn't tell.
So, what was I saying?
You were talking about
Rewind it, Solomon.
Nurse entrepreneur.
Oh, nurse entrepreneur.
Rewind it, Solomon.
Rewind it. Yeah, nurse entrepreneur. So I think we talked about this before as being IR independent nurses, meaning we work on our own and we don't have any set schedule.
Right.
We work with the registry where they call us Uber nurses. So like
I
literally.
can see that.
Yeah, you ever heard that before?
No.
Oh, so
But
we
that
work
makes
off of an
sense.
app, and like different facilities will post their need as far as a shift day by day, and if we pick it up, we pick it up. If we don't, somebody else in the pool of nurses will get it.
Right.
Otherwise, unless they request us by name, then we have like an hour to pick it up.
Right.
But anyhow, so just being nurse entrepreneurs like that, we have to have faith. Like we rely on faith every day that God will provide a job for us. So it's very risky.
It's very risky.
We have no idea if we're going to have income for the next week.
That's true. It's very risky.
It is so risky.
Especially because of the registry that we're with right now, the jobs are not like it used to be.
Yeah.
Like we used to could work full time just off of, the registry alone. Now, like the jobs have dwindled because the job market, in my opinion, has changed. A lot of nurses, because of COVID, have scurried away from the hospital, and now they're finding more outpatient, less stressful nurse positions, which I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But now it's a saturation.
Taking our jobs. But you know what they're doing also?
Uh-huh.
They're allowing nurses right out of school to come and work with them. So before you had
In the registry?
Yeah. Before you had to be
wow.
there, you had to
don't
like
think
have a
that's
year
safe.
experience.
That's not
I
safe.
know. I guess they like, look, you got a license. If you want to put your license at risk, then put your license at risk.
Right.
It's
That's
risky
why
being a nurse, period.
About to save your own ass.
Do you guys get insurance with the registry?
We have our own insurance.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, so you have
pay
to
for
buy your own
out-of-pocket.
insurance.
Yeah.
And therefore no union either then.
No.
Gotcha.
We just living on a prayer.
Yep, living on a prayer. Prayer and a dream. Prayer and a dream.
Prayer, baby. But see, the
Seriously.
thing is, faith without works is dead, right?
That's true.
Like we still got to put in work. Like we, so another thing about, this nursing, I realized last year, like I have gotten super comfortable with this. I've been doing this for about 8 years. And I know it's more money out here. It's more ways that I can make money with nursing. And I realized just having nursing as a foundation has, I won't say been my crutch, but it allowed me to not be as urgent, as we was talking about urgency in the last show. It allowed me to not have to be so urgent in like seeking my dreams or seeing my dreams to fruition.
I'm there with
because I've had nursing to fall back on.
Exactly. Yeah.
So right now, in this space that we're talking right now, y'all, I'm taking risk. I haven't worked in like 3 weeks, and I don't plan to work as a nurse until maybe July, because I'm working on transitioning and like really building my coaching practice.
Working on your craft.
Finishing my third book, and just taking different risks and just trusting in God that for one, He's gonna continue to provide for me. Like I literally want for nothing. Like God is, He is Jehovah Jireh, my provider.
Everything.
He's everything.
It's everything.
So but like I said, faith without works is dead. Like I gotta still put in the work. Like I need to sit down. I'm sitting down. I'm writing my books. I'm working on being disciplined, working out every day. One of the things I am working on.
Yes.
Like, I haven't started right now, but
what
is my way of my eating habit.
That's okay. You getting
Yes.
there though. You
I'm
working
getting
out
there.
every day. It's steps.
It's
yeah,
steps.
It's
It's steps. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself, but I do know, eating is 80% of, health.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the
The fasting helps too.
yes.
So
yes.
yeah.
And not snacking all day.
Not snacking all day.
Chip monster.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just pop it in there. I should have did that motion. Something. Just pop it in there.
Just pop it in there.
Yeah.
Pop
All right.
okay.
Nothing.
So yes, nursing is a risk. Taking time off right now with like no income coming in, this is definitely a risk.
But at least you've been responsible. That's the thing. You also risks are good, but you want to try to take some responsible risks.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's a good
mean?
one, yeah.
Like, I know sometimes you go on a leap and it works out. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have that ultimate faith and
calculated
risk
risk.
taking. Right. But you have to take some type of calculated risk. So I think in my earlier years, I was just more so, they were somewhat calculated, but I was also jumping out the window. You know what I mean? And having that ultimate faith in God. Because when you're taking risks, you have to have that ultimate belief that you're going to be okay. And that whatever you believe in, if you believe in anything, it has you. And I think that has saved me because I have a real high level of faith. Where I am now, I'm trying to take more calculated risks. And thank God, because some people are really afraid to take risks. And I understand it. It can be very scary because you don't have the control. You don't know what's going to happen. But I think that's when that high level faith comes in.
Yeah.
Like, you got to develop that trust in something bigger than you.
You got to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when we try to do things on our own, honey, it just don't work out.
No,
it don't work out.
You got to think about it's to me, there is something out here that's bigger than me. So it's like, you know what? Let me just put it out there and let me just do what I need to do and we'll see what happens. That's all you can do. That's all you can do in life. Like, life is about taking some sort of risk, regardless if it's a small risk or it's a large risk. Like, and you make the decision on what type of risk you want to take.
Yeah. What type of risk are you taking now? Or you headed into?
Oof. Oh my gosh. Different business risk. Oh my gosh. Do you want me to be specific?
Girl.
All right. So
look at you flourishing.
Opening up an IV therapy, a mobile clinic. Also moving. I'm trying to become bi-coastal. Like, spend half of my time here in LA, spend the other half in Georgia. So I'm trying to get things together for that. That's the actual risk. What else? Right now, I am just me taking off the mask.
Oh, yeah.
And just being, I'm always me, but it goes back to like not being ashamed of my imperfections, not being ashamed of my vulnerability. Just, this is who I am. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, scurry on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am in that space where I don't need people's approval and that I don't need to have to be liked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I understand the gravity of who I am and how great of a person I am. And I'm going to attract whatever that's meant to be for me.
Yeah. And you're seeking out what's meant for you as well.
Yes, I am actually, I'm not in that mundane state. And I'm actually trying to become, what do we say? Comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of goals that I have. So I can't just be stagnant.
Yeah.
Just trying to deal with mental health and confronting that on a day-to-day basis. I want to say hour to hour. To be quite honest with you.
Moment by moment.
Moment by moment.
Yeah.
That's risky.
Yeah.
You know? So it's all sorts of things that I'm trying to
what is that?
Trying to do some
Juggle?
boxing moves
Oh, okay.
or something. I can't because it is here, but
I think that's half boxing, half juggling.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was like, she's juggling. But yeah. So I told you my risk is transitioning from nursing, not necessarily from nursing, because I do have some things I want to do in nursing. But just really focusing on my craft and coaching and building a practice and speaking and writing and doing the things that I'm very passionate about.
Oh yeah, I forgot about costume design. Yes.
See, yes,
forgot about that one.
yes,
Yes.
And just focusing on the things I'm passionate about and not worrying about being perfect at it. You know?
That's a big one.
Yes.
That's a big one. We can't start off perfect. It's a progression.
You will never get to perfect.
Well, not
Perfection
even perfect.
is an illusion.
It is an illusion. Even though we love to use that term. Right. It is an illusion. Yes.
So I'm focusing on doing it messy. Like everything I do, like just giving myself permission to do it messy.
Yes.
Take the risk, do it messy, make mistakes. Make beautiful mistakes, because if I learn from it, it's a beautiful mistake.
The mistakes tailor your blessing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? As you go, things just become tailored and more, it fits you as you go.
You got to make the mistakes to get it.
The lessons.
Right. To get the lessons.
To get the lessons. And that's why I had to learn too. Like, I don't know why. When you're younger, you just go.
Yeah.
And when you're older, I think it's so many seeds. It's so many examples of disappointment that you see that you don't have that same freedom.
You get really logical. You get in your head.
Too logical.
Yeah.
You get too logical. And you don't know how to just let go and take that risk that you're speaking of.
Yeah. And that's let's just do like a child. Let's get like a child. And allow our imaginations to run wild.
Yes.
Dream your biggest dream. Allow your imagination to run wild and believe that it's going to happen. Like, you got to believe it.
Only you can prevent forest fires. And on that note, subscribe to us, Pause and Proceed Podcast on IG, Pause_Proceed, and on YouTube, Pause and Proceed Podcast.
Take risks, y'all. Believe in yourself. Because you can do it.
And try to have that ultimate faith and believing in something bigger to you, because it will help.
Have that faith.
All right.
You got it.
Peace out.
Deuces.